back to the Yarn Junkie podcast. My name is Amber. I am coming to you from my home in Texas where I live with my husband, our 2 daughters, and 3 dogs. Here is the one that always joins me to say hello, Lucy, my mastiff. Sit down. So if this is your first time joining me, thanks for stopping by and checking me out. And if you're a returning viewer, welcome back. It's been about 3 weeks, did I say that, since my last episode? And I have tons to show you guys. So I'm just going to get started. I have a few admin things first. Places you can find me is _Yarn Junkie on Instagram. And then there's a Yarn Junkie podcast group on Ravelry. And I can be found as Yarn Junkie with the number 6 on Ravelry if you are interested in checking out my project page or any of that. Since I don't do traditional show notes, I usually create a project page for every project. So first I have the giveaway from Little Tailoress. Amy was sweet enough to send me 2 skeins of yarn, one to keep and one to give away. And so here it is. It's kind of being washed out on the camera, but it's this beautiful tonal green color called Wild Ireland. And this is a 75 superwash merino, 25% nylon with a little mini and a progress keeper. So the winner of that, I created a thread for having 2,000 subscribers, which is insane. Thank you so much, guys, for everyone that went over to the thread and told me congratulations. I can't believe it. So the winner of that was Marshaft, which is Marsha from Alabama. Congratulations, Marsha, and if you'll message me on Ravelry and give me your address, I'll get that shipped out to you. But thank you again, guys. Seriously, like reading your comments and congratulations, not only just about the subscribers, but my new pregnancy and moving into my house and everything else, and just appreciating me and having a podcast. I love you guys. I really couldn't do this without you. So, mentioning the pregnancy, if you don't know, I'm currently 26 weeks pregnant with my 3rd baby girl. So I'm due right around Christmas time, and I'm really excited. So speaking of, 2 more admin things, I have 2 patterns to give away. So I will create a thread for each of those. That way, if you want to make one thing or the other, etc. The first is from Mina of the Knitting Expat. She just came out with the color blender wrap, which is a large brioche wrap shawl scarf thing. It's gorgeous, and if you don't follow Mina on Instagram and watch her podcast, you're living under a rock. She's an amazing knitwear designer and a new mama to Layla. So if you are interested in making that, I will create a thread and just go enter, and I'll draw next time. And thank you so much, Mina, for donating that pattern to me, as well as one for my viewers. And the next pattern is from Barbara of the Knitting I Love podcast. Again, another great podcast and an up-and-coming knitwear designer. She's done quite a few hats, and this one is called the, I'm going to totally butcher this, asphodel hat. I'm terrible. It's just a basic beanie, but then once you get to the decreases, it has this really beautiful leaf motif. And so I think it's very gender neutral. You can make it for your husband or your son or your daughters. I definitely plan to knit myself one, maybe one for my daughters. So thank you so much, Barbara, for donating that. And if you're interested in making it, there will be a thread in the group. Sorry, I have no brain space anymore. Definitely, I blame it on the pregnancy. So I will just jump into my finished objects now. I have 3 washcloths because I was just needing a quick project, and I've made these each in like about a day, just working on them here and there. This was the first one I made, and it's a Lily's Sugar and Cream yarn. You can find this at most big box stores. I think I got mine at Walmart, and it's the Granny's Favorite Dishcloth pattern. And then again, this is a Lily's Sugar and Cream yarn. It's a navy with these, it's marled navy and lime green. Really pretty. And then this one The yarn actually came from Hobby Lobby, and it's their Crafter's Secret cotton, and it's really nice. It's a little bit softer than the Lily Sugar and Cream, but it, you know, gives off the same kind of effect when you're knitting up the diagonal dishcloth. And it's reading a little bit brown with those greens and oranges mixed together, but it's definitely, I feel like this one transitions nicely from summer to fall because of the summer cool blues and the folly oranges, and I really like that one. So a few of these are for gifts. I think I'm definitely going to keep this one for myself, but I thought of somebody else that would really like these colors, so I might make another one for her and send that off. Another gift knit that I've done, so I cast these socks on, it's ridiculous, for like around Mother's Day, and again, they're for a friend of mine, and she's got about the same size feet as me, so I just knit these to fit me, and hopefully they'll fit her really well. But they are the Rose City Roller sock pattern. The yarn is Baronvula, and her, I didn't bring the ball in here. I don't remember the name. I think it's something in German, but I think it's supposed to mean wildflowers, which definitely these remind me of wildflowers. There's teal and purple and yellow and little orange flashes all throughout. And I did a modification on the heel. I did the Eye of Partridge instead of just the heel flap, and instead of the slip stitch heel pattern. And yeah, I knit these with deep ends, size 1, 64 stitch count. Just some ankle socks. I think it's ridiculous that ankle socks took me 4 months to make, but she's gonna get them now, and hopefully she'll love them. So I did wash and block them just so they were nice and beautiful and, you know, ready for wear. So those will be gifted now that I've shown them on the podcast. So the next finished object are Prudence's back to school socks, a month late. They've been in school a month already, and I'm just now finishing this one, and I still just have one sock knit for Trella. So these are my 6-year-olds back to school socks. They do not match. I had no problems not matching them. The girls kind of like mismatched socks anyway. Like, honestly, even store-bought socks, like, we have a sock basket, and we'll just stick through and find 2 that are the same shape, and if they're the same shape, they match. Whether they're the same color, the same pattern, does not matter. If they're the same shape, they match. Do y'all do that as well? Sock laundry is the bane of my existence. Unless it's knit sock laundry, and then I'm totally happy. But yeah, so there's not a lot to say about these. This is Knit Picks Felici. I did a knit 3, purl 1 every other row on these, 1 by 1 rib. And one toe is a little bit longer than the other because I stopped one with 12 stitches on each needle, and I stopped the other with 8 stitches on each needle. I don't think Prudence is going to notice or care that one toe is a smidge longer. Oh, my husband's back. No, sorry. He had a meeting this morning, and I just don't want him to come and interrupt. So that is that finished object. Speaking of socks, I did manage to finish, I have a ton of stuff, guys, a ton. 2 baby socks. This is the Rocks baby socks pattern, but I think the next pair that I'm going to do are going to be the mitten baby socks. I've seen a lot of podcasters and just people in general knit those. I tried these on my niece's baby. She just brought her, I think he's like 7 weeks old, but he's tiny. He was super small when he was born. I think he was like 5 pounds, 6 ounces. And when she brought him out, he was like 7 pounds, some odd ounces. My babies were never that small. These fit him. So I'm kind of a little concerned about these being too small for my baby once she gets here. But this was some Molly of a Homespun House yarn, and this is Madeline Tosh yarn. And there's my hair shedding like crazy. And with this yarn, did I bring those balls? I did not. That's okay. This yarn I had in an MCN base as well as a merino nylon base. And then with the merino nylon, I held it double because it's a fingering weight. This is Madeline Tosh Cotopaxi, and I was totally inspired by Rachel. It's Rachel and Tabitha. Yeah, so Rachel and Tabitha of the Hey Sister podcast are both pregnant. Like, everyone's pregnant right now. Congratulations to everyone. I'm so excited to be sharing this journey with so many fellow knitters. But Rachel knit her baby a antler hat and put a little pom-pom on it. So I had to do that as well. I didn't have a worsted weight yarn that I wanted to use, and so I just held fingering weight double and knit the antler hat and put a little pom-pom. And this was a gift from my sweet friend Knitty by Nature. It was on a keychain, but I just cut it off the keychain and sewed it onto this hat. And I do feel like it might be a little bit dark. These are definitely black speckles, but now I feel like it's kind of dark, and I might change out the pom-pom to be a yarn pom-pom, or even, I don't know, I might leave it. It's really cute. I like the contrast. But again, I tried this on my niece's baby too, and it's a little big on him, so I really do feel like it will fit my baby for at least a month. At least a month of her little life. But she's got matching hat and matching socks. And this was the yarn, I know I've said this 1,000 times, but since this is the last time I'll talk about it, my mom passed away almost 2 years ago. It will be 2 years in December. And when she was alive, I had just started knitting socks, and she had picked out this same yarn for me knitting her socks. And so I just thought that I would make the baby something, and it'd be extra special since my mom picked it. That's all I'm going to say about that before I start bawling like a baby. So, what else? I know I'm moving through this really fast, but I finished this little romper, which I started, I think, back in July. And it's finished, it's woven, the ends are woven in, I've washed it and blocked it, but I don't have the buttons for it yet. I did buy buttons at Hobby Lobby, but they turned out to be too big, which kind of bums me out. So I am going to knit night tonight. Yay! Because I haven't been in like 3 weeks. I'm so excited. And I'm going to see if they have any buttons that will fit this little romper. So it's supposed to have two buttons on the straps up here, and then 3 buttons on the crotch. And I thought this looked really big once I got it washed and blocked, but then I held it up to a newborn size onesie, and it's just a smidge longer. And again, my kids are like not really newborn size, so I hope it will be perfect. I kind of knit this in hopes that she would wear it on Christmas. I'm going to make a little pair of booties, like elf booties, and then she's got a red and green Christmas hat. And then I'll probably knit her a green cardigan to kind of tie the ensemble together. So I really hope it fits. Cross your fingers for me. This yarn is Knit Picks Stroll Fingering. It might be Stroll. It might be the other one, Hawthorne. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on it. It's a tonal. It's called Heartfelt was the colorway. I kind of had mistakes in here, but none that are compromising the integrity or structure, so we leave those kinds of mistakes. But that is that project. I also have, sorry for my ridiculous sing-song voice, but this makes me so excited. So I finished this yesterday. This is my Blue Sands cardigan, and by finished, I mean, I still have all of the ends to weave in, and I still need to wash it. But the knitting is done. I do have to sew the pockets. So when you're knitting the I-cord bind off, your I-cord binding off the pocket bottoms as well, but then the sides are still open. So I still have to sew those closed. I still have a bajillion ends to weave in. The sleeves have ends in them as well, but I will put it on. I'll talk about running out of yarn in a second because I was playing a bit of yarn chicken with this. Oh my God, I love it, you guys. This is gonna be so perfect for our climate for fall and winter. This is basically gonna be a jacket. Oh my God, I love it. So again, I haven't washed it or blocked it. It will lay a bit nicer once I wash it. And then again, there's my 26-week baby bump. But it is so amazing. So here's a pocket, but again, you know, there's a hole on the side. And the bottom kind of rolls up because I have not blocked it. This pocket, I still need to sew these ends, and then all of that mess. But I so love it. My husband was like, well, what are you gonna do when you're not pregnant anymore? I was like, well, it will fit proper then, because it is an open cardigan, but it's big enough to where you can kind of close it up. Now, as far as the yarn goes, I did good with my gray colors. I have lots of those left over. This was the one that I had the least of. And then, so I have plenty of this. I'm gonna do something with that. And the black though, which is what I was doing the collar with, I have these 3 left out of 250 yards each. This is what I have left. And so I started with one color, and it's kind of, you're doing short rows a little bit in some of the areas, and I was kind of freaking out. So I shortened, like where it told you to repeat the pattern 2 and 3, repeat rows 2 and 3 times. I did it like once or twice because I was freaking out. And then this is what I used for the I-cord bind off. And I did it. I did it. And I don't think that it looks all that different from the pattern. Did I say this was the Blue Sands cardigan? So again, it needs to be blocked out, but it's amazing. I have a sweater, a cardigan. I still have like stitch markers galore on it. I am so pleased with this. Still have a stitch marker here. Still need to weave in the ends, but it's amazing. I freaking love it. I gotta take it off because I'm gonna die. It is, I turn off my air conditioner because again, my vent's like right there and it's super noisy. It's probably gonna be 90 today. It was 90 yesterday. Look at my phone right quick and tell you what the temperature is. So my husband put that fingerprint reader thing on my phone so I don't have to type in my password, and sometimes my fingerprint reader's like, nope. It makes me so mad. It makes me so mad. So right now it's 80 degrees. And it says it will get up to hourly. Like you guys care, but whatever. I have to close an ad. It just says 80. I bet it gets hotter than 80. But fall is going to come and I will have, my sweater will be ready. I'm so excited. I will weave in the rest of the ends this afternoon and be done with it. So another project that I've been working on, those are my finished objects. I think that's all of them. Yes. A whip. Again, I've had this on the needles since spring. It's the So Faded by Andrea Mowry. And do you see that right there, that discoloration? So that's where I spilled chocolate and I rubbed soap right there. And this is a Madeline Tosh yarn, this first one. And I feel like I rubbed the color off. It happened on the back too because I had chocolate. I was eating chocolate and knitting. Public service announcement, don't eat chocolate and knit. So that kind of makes me sad. But I did wash the body and block it. And it's perfect. So I can put this on with my baby bump. It's kind of ridiculous, but I will. And I just need to do the sleeves. And the sleeves and the collar. And I have zero desire to knit on this because I'm pregnant and I'm not going to be wearing it. So it's going to fit really good once I don't have the bump. It's the exact length I wanted. I'm really happy overall with it. This top color is Madeline Tosh Cold Shoulder in their Euro sock base. The next color is a Tim Burton Yarn Club from Molly of the Homespun House. She doesn't repeat club colorways. I don't remember the name of it. Doesn't matter. And then the bottom is Woolen Vine Yarns in her colorway Poe. And it's her Blue Face Luster base, which is kind of scratchy. And I'm glad that I didn't go the other way with it because I briefly thought about it. And I'm glad that it's down on the bottom instead of up here by my neck where it's more sensitive. But I'll probably wear a shirt under it regardless, so I still need to pick up for the neck. And a lot of people have just like picked up and bound off for the neck. I haven't decided what I'm going to do there yet. And then I'm going to hopefully do as close to full length sleeves as possible, depending on my yarns. But there it is. Pretty excited about having that further along because it's not finished. But we'll see when I get started back on that. So all I have left, let me look at my notes. I have one more whip. So I've been trying to get all of my socks off the needles so I can cast on new ones for fall and Socktober. This is a pair of socks that I started in July or June. I did a class on the Afterthought heel. I love the Afterthought heel with self-striping socks. And this is the Nomadic Yarns in colorway Lake Life because I live at the lake. I love this colorway so much. I originally planned to knit these for me, and then I just went willy-nilly on the length, and they're a little long for me, so I'm going to give them to my husband. And I think he'll really like these. So I did start the second one, and I think I am about, again, it's for an Afterthought heel, so maybe 3 more repeats of the stripe pattern before I can do the toe. So this might be my knit night project tonight. If I get all my ends woven in on my cardigan. But that's my little gobstopper ball. I love these. I love this colorway so much. It makes me really sad that these aren't mine. I love that green, those 2 green stripes. They're my favorite, like colorway avocado. And I have that in one of her little Nomadic Yarns sock cubes. And I was totally enabled to get this by the Fawn Knits. Lara has the same fabric bag. And when I saw it on her podcast, I had to have it. And I love it. It's one of my favorite bags. But that is all of my whips. So I'm going to stop it right here and grab up my acquisitions and show you guys what I've acquired. I'll be right back. Okay, so I haven't gone too crazy, but I've gotten some stuff that I probably really didn't need. The first 2 things, my mother-in-law mentioned wanting washcloths when she saw me knitting some when she was out here. And then we went to the store for something or another, and I just grabbed these up at Walmart to make some more washcloths. And I got this Christmas colorway because Christmas, baby! Guys, I've never loved Christmas. It's never been my favorite. I've had a lot of really crappy things happen right around the holidays. And so it's just never been my favorite. It's a time of stress for me, not a time of joy and excitement. Even with kids, like, I try for them and I try to like suppress my own emotions, but I get like wintertime blues, or what is that called? Seasonal depression, like really bad. This pregnancy has really turned a new leaf for me, and I am so excited about about Christmas. so excited, like, 'cause I'm gonna have a baby to snuggle on Christmas morning. I'm ridiculously excited. So I got these two colorways, Blue Moon Ombre and Yuletide, to knit more washcloths. And I've been knitting my washcloths on my amazing, everyone says these differently, they're the driftwood needles. And I went to Google and typed it in, how do you pronounce lucky? I'm not Norwegian or wherever these come from. I live in Texas and I like saying likey. Are y'all gonna hate me if I continue saying likey? My likey needles? Yes, because it's not the way to say it. But I love these. The only thing that I don't like about them is this bigger size. The tips are not as pointy, and I'm thinking about maybe investing in some, maybe for Christmas I'll buy myself some size 8 straights of the signature needles just to knit my dishcloths on. I don't think that's ridiculous. I think next year I want to do a dishcloth maybe once a week and have 52 dishcloths by the end of the year. That's probably way too ambitious. We'll see. But I do enjoy knitting them. And I knit these on these needles. So that was a lot of fun to knit those. And my husband loves these too. Like when he sees me knitting a dishcloth, he's like, "Are you making another dishcloth?" I love those. So they're really handy to have and to use as gifts. So while I was at Hobby Lobby and I got the yarn for this, I got my girls some craft supplies. Prudence wanted more paint and Atrella wanted a box of crayons. Oh, I should go grab her stuff and show you guys. She doesn't have time to record. I'm gonna be right back. Okay, so I took them to Hobby Lobby a few days ago and we had one open up closer to us. And by closer, I mean it's only an hour away instead of an hour and 30 minutes away. I love living royal, okay, I really do, but you people who live in town are spoiled. Now that I'm pregnant, it's killing me not to live closer to like my favorite fast food places. Like I basically want to eat fuzzy tacos every single day and I can't, which I guess is a good thing too. I've already gained a ton of weight. People say that it doesn't look like it, but I've gained over 25 pounds already, and my doctor's kind of doing the finger wag thing at me, whatever. But I've been wanting to knit some stuffies, knit and crochet some stuffies, and so I got some Animalize from Hobby Lobby, blue, and the cat eyes are green, but I might do a dragon, and then I got brown too. Brown and blue, because that's what color my girls' eyes are. Prudence has brown eyes, and Atrella has blue eyes. So they like their stuffies to have the same color eyes they do. I also went to Stitches, Texas. I wasn't really planning on going. I have a ton of yarn. I have no business buying yarn whatsoever, but my car has been in the shop for a while and it was finally ready. And I was 15 miles away from where Stitches was. I was like, I kind of have to go. So I did go. And I told myself I wasn't going to buy any yarn. I did pretty good. This is the only yarn that I bought, a mini. And this is from Black Cat Fibers. I don't know the colorway. I wanted a full skein of it, but again, I was like, no, Amber, you have plenty of yarn. And I thought the mini would be appropriate because then I can just like knit a pair of baby socks. I freaking love this color so much. I definitely want a full skein at some point. And yeah, I'm looking forward to knitting this into a pair of baby socks. I also, from that same booth, I got this pin from a bag. It says, "Don't be a prick." It's a little cactus. Don't be a prick. Because I need all the reminders I can get at this point in my pregnancy. I'm kind of a lot more irritated than normal about everything. Just my nerves are on edge and my hormones are at full volume, so things just bother me a lot more than they should, and I try to remind myself, hey, you know, you don't have to be a jerk. Another thing that I got, this pom-pom. So this was in the Stephen B booth. I love his booth so much. So chock full of inspiration. And I originally got a pom-pom from his booth 2 years ago at Stitches, but it had like a string. And then when I sewed it on my hat, I hated it. Like I didn't want it on my hat anymore. This one has a snap. Let me show you a snap. And so you can snap it on and off any hat you choose. Isn't that incredible? And I know a lot of people get the faux fur pom-poms. I like the real fur pom-poms. If I'm going to knitter hell because I'm killing fuzzy animals for their pom-poms, I will do so fashionably because that's amazing and I love it. Peta be damned. I'm sure I'm going to get a thumbs down now because I like real fur pom-poms. I think this one's raccoon or something. I don't know. I know my other one's raccoon and this one feels very similar to that. I love it. And I originally got it because I had this yarn in my stash and I planned to knit the Andrea Mowry's brioche hat, vintage prim, with these two colorways. But then once I got the pom-pom, and I don't know, I might feel differently once it's knit up, but then I felt like that was too cream colored and that's too white. So I don't know that it will go on this, but I still want to knit that hat. Or it could go on, I have this yarn that I got a couple of months ago, Shelter, Brooklyn Tweed, to knit this hat. And I thought, ooh, this will go nicely. It's not really showing up very well with that, right? I love this color. So we'll see what I decide in the end. I'm glad that I got it. Sorry if you hate me because I like real fur pom-poms. The last thing I wanted to show you were my girls' crafts. So Prudence has been, like, of her own accord, Prudence is my 6-year-old, making these little popsicle snowflakes. And I mean, she also, I don't have any of those, but she also found a painted rock at a playground recently. And she took it upon herself to go out into our yard and find all the rocks she could and paint them. And then basically begged us to take her to the park to go hide them. I took her to the park. She left her rocks behind at the house. And then she decided she wanted to go on a hike to hide her rocks. So I'll maybe include a little video clip either at the beginning or the end of us going on a hike. But she and her dad carried their little sack of rocks and she hid them all. But she's also, in addition to been painting rocks, been making snowflakes. And she took one to school, and now her librarian wants her to make some for the library. Her teacher wants her to make some for the class. So she's been commissioned to make many more snowflakes. And I just love that. I love that it was like all her doing. I mean, I do a lot of crafts with my kids, but for their little creativity to come out and for them to decide to make something and kind of do it on their own is really, really inspiring. So Atrella, when we went to Hobby Lobby, she was kind of hemming and hawing about different things that she wanted to get. In the end, she decided on a huge box of crayons. When she came home, she swatched her crayons. Like, so she would see what the colors were. She swatched her crayons and wrote all the names. I just thought that was so cool. Like, you made a swatch. That's adorable. And some of her drawings, I don't know that I'm going to show all of these. She's been drawing a ton. So these are weaponized cats. One has a knife. That one has a lightsaber. And that one has a gun. She was doing her vocabulary homework the other day, and when she was doing her sentences for her definitions, she came up with this whole story about sailors, and then she drew the 3 sailors. So the girl lost her arm It was severed. That was one of her vocabulary words. This one was, I can't remember, revived. So he has 2 different colored eyes because he was revived. That was one of her vocabulary words. Yeah, I was just like, okay, kid. You're amazing. I love her characters. She's been really into drawing characters lately. So, this sad little unicorn, oh my god, I'm going to cry. Its hair is like flat. So sad. The huntress. Like, here's a crazy cat girl. I love her creativity. This, like, hybrid fairy dragon cat. I don't know. This one's cool because it's mixed medium art. The feathers. She doesn't feel like she's good at drawing hands, so they're usually hidden. I mean, she has been drawing and drawing and drawing. We got these stickers from somebody, and so they both drew characters for their stickers. This one's one of my favorites. I don't know, I just love his beard. He's got beans in his beard, and I love his shirt and the patches on his jeans and his bald head, and she drew a hand. So, Miss Stench and Brocky. This girl with her bacon skirt. And pancakes. Yum. Yeah, so she's 11, and I think she's amazing. I love this one. Like the Christmas scarf. So long. So cute. This one with the ombre dress. Oh, I love this one. So she loves candy corn. She drew this little Halloween girl. Looks like a candy corn. I think that's all. The rest of these are kind of older and colorings and stuff that she did. But I just had to share those with you guys. I hope you're as fascinated by them as I am. Probably not, because you're not her mother. That's okay. I'm still proud. Yeah, so that is all I have to show you guys this week. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope that you've enjoyed working on your project while catching up with what my girls and I have been up to, and I will catch y'all next time. Bye.